What if curiosity wasn't harmless? What if a single question had the power to change everything? My story isn't about love, it's about the razor-thin line between desire and regret. They say curiosity killed the cat, but for me, it didn't kill me. It changed my life forever. Thanks for being an amazing supporter. If you're excited for more stories, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Now, let's dive into this tale together. What if one moment of temptation could change the course of your entire life? I always prided myself on being a woman of integrity. Loyalty, honesty, trust, these weren't just values to me, they were the foundation of my entire life. I had built my marriage on them, sworn by them. And yet, one single decision, one impulse I couldn't resist, shattered everything I thought I knew about myself. Ethan and I had been together for 12 years. He was my best friend, my safe haven, the man who made me laugh on my worst days, who kissed me on the forehead every morning before leaving for work, who held my hand in the middle of a crowded room just to remind me he was there. Our love wasn't fiery or wild, it was steady, dependable, and I thought that was enough. Until one day, it wasn't. It wasn't that I stopped loving Ethan, but somewhere along the way, in the routine of life, something had gone missing. The passion, the longing, the part of me that once felt truly alive. It had dulled over the years. I told myself it was normal, that all marriages lost their spark eventually. And then Noah came back into my life. It was just another evening. Ethan was on the couch, scrolling through the news. I was sitting beside him, pretending to watch TV, but mindlessly scrolling through my phone. That's when I saw it. Noah. His name popped up on my screen like a ghost from another life. My heart skipped a beat. I hadn't seen or spoken to him in years. I hesitated, my fingers hovering over his profile picture. He looked different, older, more mature. But his eyes still held the same warmth, the same quiet intensity that had always made me feel seen. Before I could stop myself, I sent him a message. Noah? Is that really you? I should have left it at that. A simple hello, a quick catch up. But when his response came just seconds later, my hands trembled. Emma! Wow, I can't believe this. How have you been? That was the moment it began, the unraveling. At first, it was harmless. Just messages between old friends, reminiscing about college days, exchanging updates about our lives. But the more we talked, the more I felt something shift inside me. Something I had buried long ago. Noah and I had always had a connection, one that neither of us had dared to explore back then. We were young, caught up in different relationships, convinced that timing was never on our side. But now there were no excuses. One night, as Ethan slept beside me, I lay awake, staring at my phone, reading Noah's latest message. You know, I used to have the biggest crush on you, Emma. My heart pounded. My fingers trembled as I typed back. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I knew if I did, I wouldn't have been able to stop myself. I should have stopped there. I should have put my phone down, turned over, and gone to sleep. Instead, I asked the question that would change everything. And what about now? There was a long pause. Then his response came. Now, I wish I was holding you instead of this damn phone. From that moment, my mind was no longer my own. Noah lived 2 cities away. That should have been enough distance to keep me safe. But temptation doesn't care about distance. One weekend, Ethan had to leave for a business trip. The house felt unbearably empty. My fingers hovered over my phone, torn between common sense and reckless desire. And then, as if my heart had made the decision before my mind could catch up, I sent him a message. I could use some company. Noah's reply came instantly. Tell me when and where. I told myself it was just coffee, just 2 old friends catching up. But deep down, I knew better. When I arrived at the cafe, Noah was already there, waiting for me. The moment I saw him, my breath hitched. He stood up, smiling in that familiar way, and before I knew it, I was in his arms. It felt natural. Too natural. We talked for hours, but the words barely registered. All I could focus on was the way he looked at me, like I was something precious, something worth chasing. And then, as we stood outside his apartment, he whispered, I don't want this night to end. Neither did I. That night, I crossed a line I could never uncross. When I returned home, Ethan was already back. He smiled at me like nothing had changed, like I was still his Emma. But I wasn't. I told myself it was a mistake, that it would never happen again. But that was the biggest lie of all, because once you open a door like that, you can never close it again. For weeks, I lived a double life. I was still Ethan's devoted wife, cooking dinner, kissing him goodnight, laughing at his jokes. But the moment I was alone, I belonged to Noah, until the night everything came crashing down. I came home late. Too late. As I stepped inside, I felt the shift in the air. Ethan wasn't in his usual spot on the couch. Instead, he was sitting at the dining table, his hands folded, his expression unreadable. My heart stopped. "Where were you tonight, Emma?" I forced a smile. "Dinner with a friend." He didn't say anything. He simply reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. And then I saw it. Noah's name. My blood ran cold. "How long?" Ethan asked, his voice terrifyingly calm. Tears burned my eyes. I wanted to deny it, to lie my way out. But the moment I met his gaze, I knew there was no use. "I never meant to hurt you," I whispered. Ethan let out a hollow laugh. "But you did." A heavy silence stretched between us. And then, the question that shattered me. "Do you love him?" I opened my mouth, but no words came, because I didn't know the answer. And maybe that was the real betrayal. They say curiosity killed the cat, but sometimes it does something worse. It leaves you alive, forced to face the wreckage of your own choices.